Hello everyone. Welcome to the Crisis of the Month Club. It's good to chat with you once again. I made the short video, This Ain't No Movie, back in June. Seems like years ago. But it depicted 4 crises that are confronting us as a nation. And by crisis, I mean a complicated, protracted problem that requires a great deal of attention, time, probably great expense, and most importantly, national unity to solve. This is part 4 and the last one of the series. I've spaced these out because I can only stand so much crisis at one time. So, on to the 4th crisis, America's place in what George Will in a recent Washington Post opinion piece described as increasingly disorderly world. This might as well be titled, There Are Things Going On That You Don't Know. Things going on outside the U.S. are not always readily visible to us, nor do they seem to immediately affect us. The missile in the opening sequence was displayed by North Korea during the first or second week of October. It is a new one and a more powerful missile for them, and potentially adds to their nuclear delivery capability. The above-the-fold items in the Washington Post on October 13th, 2020 did include an article on increasing nuclear threats, but it certainly didn't get the prominence given to the political theater of the Supreme Court hearings. The gist of the article is that North Korea, Russia, and China continue to develop missiles and nuclear weapons. The United States is also developing newer nuclear weaponry. Who knows what Iran and Saudi Arabia are working on? But the escalating nuclear threat is merely part of the disorderliness we are confronting. China presents one disorder of which I'm sure we are all aware. Some commentators have proclaimed that we are entering a new Cold War with China. We're certainly in a battle over 5G technology, and the U.S. is undertaking some drastic measures to limit Chinese access to cutting-edge semiconductor technology. Trade restrictions and tariffs instituted by the U.S. are playing out across the global economy. The rhetoric is ratcheting up. We should take pause, choose our words with care. In the realm of human affairs in particular, words create a certain reality. If you call someone or some country an enemy, you will treat them as an enemy, and they will reciprocate. Is China an enemy, or is it an adversary, a competitor, a partner, a foe? What are the right words to use? Our words often define the world as we want to see it. Thus, our words can screen us from reality, especially as they become emotionally laden. We could pay a heavy price if our perception of reality becomes distorted based on the words we employ. So we can use the words Cold War. A Cold War with China would be hugely consequential. But China is not like the Soviet Union at the height of the past Cold War. They had a competing ideology, nuclear technology, and military capabilities. The Soviet Union was not a major part of the global economy as China is. The Soviet Union could never match the prosperity, economic power, and allure of the United States. China possesses the nuclear arsenal, the military might, and especially economic dynamism at a time when the allure of the United States is diminishing. China eliminated the quasi-democratic status of Hong Kong and is now more loudly asserting that Taiwan should be reunited with mainland China. China-Taiwan tensions have been increasing. What would the U.S. do if China actually took military action against Taiwan? China is not the only problem. The Trump administration has implemented draconian sanctions on Iran. Iran has not forgotten the drone killing of General Soleimani in January this year. They will strike back sooner or later in some way. In addition, the U.S. has threatened to implement or actually implemented tariffs, restrictions, and even sanctions on our allies, Canada, Mexico, and Europe. It is no wonder that our relations with our long-term allies have been frayed. The U.S. is using its military and economic power as a bludgeon to threaten friend and foe alike. Overuse of force, military or economic, has often provoked rather than suppressed conflict. We have pulled out of international partnerships, treaties, and organizations such as the Trans-Pacific Partnership, the Paris Climate Accord, the Iran Nuclear Agreement, and the World Health Organization. All these actions have alienated our allies. The U.S. is clearly abdicating its erstwhile leadership role while simultaneously eliminating elements of influence in favor of the bludgeon. As a result, the U.S. is now perceived as a threat to world stability and prosperity. The Pew Charitable Trust surveys show that opinions of the U.S. in some countries, actually our traditional allies, show how far we have fallen. There are other things going on. Russia annexed Crimea. Long-standing border disputes between Armenia and Azerbaijan have erupted in actual warfare. India and China have clashed along their Himalayan border. The dispute between India and Pakistan, two nuclear-armed countries, over Kashmir seems to have deteriorated over the last year. Ethiopia is completing a major dam that will take control of the Nile River flows at a time when Egypt suffers water shortages. A disruptive hard Brexit appears to be the most likely scenario at the end of the year. The war in Yemen continues. And don't forget ISIS, it's still out there. And of course, the well-known, unknown unknowns are lurking. I will say two things. The first is that the time to make friends is before you need them. Instead, we are rejecting our friends. Maybe our old friends will find new friends. The second thing is the old saying that nature abhors a vacuum. We are losing clout. Some other country or combination of countries and forces will surely try to assert itself and to establish a new order. This new order may not appeal to us. So be prepared for the disorderly world to further erupt in some unexpected way at some unexpected time. The U.S. will have to find its way again. Well, that's it for this broadcast and for the Be Prepared series as well. I guess you're probably sorry about that. As a country, America has surmounted past crisis situations. And the background for this broadcast is the FDR Memorial in Washington, D.C. Roosevelt led us through the most serious crises of the 20th century, one domestic and one global, that took the spirit of the American people and FDR's leadership. I spoke earlier about words. The words of great leaders offer us a legacy that can inspire and guide us long after the speaker is gone. So I will close with a few images of Franklin Delano Roosevelt's words from the memorial.